Hey Virgo, what's going on? I'm back with your weekly reading. I'm hoping this one's sweeter than last week's. I felt like it was a harder one to deliver because I like to give you guys good news. I love you guys so much. But I've had some newer energies coming to my channel, so it's made the messages change. And that's okay. They need help too. They want me to tell you that you are somebody who informs and educates and leads, whether you know it or not. And you just naturally being you, you're teaching by example. You were somebody who used to be somewhat unapproachable, and now people are finding it too easy to come to you. So that's a big change. And I keep hearing visitors, visitors, visitors. Oh my gosh, another visitor. Oh my gosh, another visitor. Oh my gosh, another visitor. Something about that's coming up for you where it's almost like an assembly line. It feels like, dang, I just shut the door for you and now you're here? What the F? Something like that happening pretty soon. Some really wanted, some not so. And you know what? It was meant for you to have this happen. Virgo, it was meant for this to happen to you like this. So you can have like an in real life, in the moment example of a really exciting thing that you want happening. Like, ooh, and at the same time losing that excitement because somebody else shows up and you're like, oh. It's like you're going to be able to see what's been robbing you of your joy. And that's going to suck for you in some ways because you're going to feel like, damn, I feel like another one of my moments, my spotlight moments was taken from me. But don't look at it as a loss. Look at it as, oh, I was reading energy. Look at it like that. I was reading energy. I know what I want and what I don't want now based on what I just felt by both of these people showing up at the same time. 222 on the clock. So pay attention to that. They want you to know you think you're pessimistic. And maybe you were pessimistic a lot before. You're actually like vitally optimistic, and you get shunned for that and you don't realize it. You say a lot of things where you are optimistic, and it's off-putting to other people, where then you water yourself down, and you don't realize that you water yourself down by meeting them where they are. You don't realize that because you allow your conversation to match theirs instead of giving them the opportunity to raise and join you. So from now on, they want you to just stay optimistic as much as you can. And when you have the urge to join somebody where they are in their pity party, in their argument, in their pain, and did you see this mess? Did you see this problem? Did you see this injustice? Oh, I need to push my pause button right now. I'm doing this thing where I'm only going to focus on positive things and see what happens as a result. Like, tell people I'm doing an experiment right now. So I'm going to have to push a pause button on that conversation because I'm only going to watch things that are positive. I'm only going to listen to things that are positive. I'm only going to feel things that are positive. And they want you to play the positive game. Like, this is an experiment. They want you to pay attention to, like, be overly optimistic, be overly joyous, be overly positive, be overly satisfied, be overly happy to the point that it's annoying people. They want you to do that, and then they want you to see what comes to you as a result. And then they want you to do the same thing. Like, because I feel like you're at a place now where you are in that energy most of the time, but you keep having to meet people where they are in the environment you're in. And there's something about, it's time for you to get out of this environment. But there's ways to improve your environment while you're still in it. And this is one of the ways to do it. They want you to start showing people, stop dulling your shine, and tell people, like, oh, I have to hit the pause button. I'm doing an experiment. If that's going to be negative, I can't listen to it right now because I'm doing an experiment to see, I heard this thing where if you talk only positive and listen to only positive, that good things will happen to you. So I'm doing an experiment and I can't listen to that. So tell people that, okay? That's how you get away from that. That's how you get yourself out of those conversations that, like, you don't want to listen, but you feel like maybe before you engaged with words and you encouraged the conversation. And now you're at a place where you're just listening. You're not engaging anymore, but you're just listening. Well, it's time to stop listening and say, oop, I gotta hit the pause button. So you've like been slowly pulling away from people without realizing you've been pulling away from people. Okay? Yeah, you may be somebody who's a caretaker and like you have to constantly give to other people and you're compassionate and people feel safe around you. So they feel like, you know, if you are going to do all these things for me, I should be able to tell you all these things too that are bothering me. So you can, so you're taking care of my problems, being my caretaker. Now you need to listen to my problems so that I don't have to have them on my mind anymore. It's going to be your problem after you listen to them, because I'm going to tell you, and then you're going to have that problem on your plate and you're going to deal with the solution to that, and I don't have to deal with it anymore. That's what's going on. So stop listening to people's problems, because listening to their problems, they expect you to take care of it because you've done it in the past. They want you to stop doing that. Hit the pause button when listening to people's problems. You don't have to always be a listening ear. When you are a listening ear, you are a receptacle to people's problems. That means you are taking on that energy, and in some way you're going to transmute it. It is not your job to listen to other people's problems. And you know what? It's almost like people look at you. This card is titled Weakling Prince. The thing is, you're a very independent person, but you've looked like a weakling because you have this quality about you. You don't need to listen to everybody's problems and their challenges. You have your own to work through. Once you work through your own challenges and then people come to you telling you these things, then you'll have something to tell them, like, oh, well, I went through something similar to this. Here's my experience. This is what I did. Give that a try. That's how it's going to go. But right now, you're not in that place right now. Right now, you're in that place of trying to figure it out for yourself. And so you need to tell people, like, I'm trying to figure out these same problems for myself. So I can't listen to your problems right now while I'm trying to work out my own. If I figure it out, I'll let you know. And so you can apply it to your life. But right now, I need to work on my own. Like, you need to learn to say these things to people. They're not used to hearing it. So don't say it in a mean voice or a mean tone. Say it playfully or being sweet and genuine and, you know, earnest. Don't say it in a domineering, bossy tone. Don't do that. Yeah, this is going to help you step more into what you're passionate about, what you want to be loyal to, and it's also going to help you realize, like, the doubt that you've been experiencing. Like, you know, you go to make a decision. This is something important here, Virgo. You go to make a decision and you're like 100% sure about your decision, and then you stop and you listen to all these other people's problems, and their doubt and their problems are affecting your energy and your vibration. So then when you go back to make that decision for yourself again, something you were really sure about, you are now unsure about it because you let somebody else's opinion or doubt sway what you were once confident about. You got to stop doing that. I just heard if you have to ask the cards, you're not confident. And this is somebody, you know, like, maybe this is somebody, you know, you're constantly asking people who are tarot readers questions, or you're a tarot reader and you're constantly asking your cards questions for things. They want you to feel intuitively. They want you to use your intuition to make these decisions. Get comfortable with using your intuition. That way you can just kind of close your eyes, breathe, and then feel into something and know what's right for you, instead of having to look for signs and symbols all the time. It's something about you use those for a period of time and they're wonderful and they're great. But now it's time to just kind of feel, because it's like it's an upgrade. It's an upgrade, Virgos. This is great. It's like an upgrade from watching the signs and stuff. Now it's about feeling the signs, feeling what's right for you. Because maybe you want to know real time. And if you are really in tune with your intuition because you're feeling into your decisions instead of using symbols and other things to help you make your decisions, then this is the next step. It's about feeling the thing, and that's what it is. It's like you've been shown all of these things that have been your way. You know what frustrates you. You know what feeling that is. Now they want you to learn to make decisions from your feelings and see the repercussions from that. Use your feelings to make decisions and see what the repercussions are, opposed to the decisions you've made based on what, symbols and signs are. Because maybe you're reading symbols and signs and you're not feeling, so maybe you're reading symbols and signs that are attached to feelings that you're feeling in the moment, and maybe the feelings you're feeling in the moment are icky feelings, things you don't want. So you're being shown signs to match those icky feelings. So if you want to have feel-good experiences, do things that make you have feel-good emotions, and then the output is going to be a feel-good manifestation. It's really simple, and it's so simple that people make it hard. You've lived enough experiences, like, okay, this person makes me feel this, so I'm going to stop talking to this person and see how I feel. Like at first, you may feel uncomfortable because maybe you're somebody you're very polite and you don't want to tell people no or set a boundary, so you don't do it, and you're uncomfortable setting boundaries. So you got to really pay attention to that. Am I uncomfortable because I had to face this person, or am I uncomfortable with the outcome? Okay, you were uncomfortable because you said you had to set a boundary and the other person was caught off guard and they felt uncomfortable. Am I uncomfortable because they're feeling uncomfortable because I set a boundary? Or am I uncomfortable because I really don't like this, what I'm doing that's new? It's like you got to really start to play the feeling game and work your way through things based on what you're feeling on any particular subject. This is really this is why we had to heal and be isolated for a while in our spiritual awakenings, because you had to become very self-aware. You had to be aware of your energy, and to be aware of your energy, you had to be alone. You had to be isolated to know what your energy is. So when you add other people in the mix, you are able to tell what is your energy and what is theirs. And then it's like sources doing, like, where they're adding in people, like ingredients. Look at it like a recipe. You add in a little bit of this, and then you see how that tastes. And then you add in a little bit of that, and then you see how that tastes. So it's like you had to be one thing, one ingredient first, figure yourself out, then source brings in somebody else, feel their energy and figure that out between you two, and then somebody else comes. And so you're going to find now that more people are starting to show up. And don't get confused with your energy compared to theirs. Remember to stay firm and steadfast in what you have already learned, and implement every move and decision out of that, and stay true to what you believe, because somebody is really attracted to what you've got going on right now. And it's like, if I just find a way to spend a little more time around them, like, I'll feel good a little. And like, this is what, like, they don't realize that this is what they're doing. You may find that people are wanting to call and talk that don't normally want to call and talk. Or when you see somebody, they're like, oh, one more thing, or, oh, I got this, or, by the way. And they want to just kind of hang out a little bit, and they use all of these things as excuses to stay around you for a little bit longer. And then you find yourself just naturally kind of walking backwards, slowly pulling away, like, okay, I'll see you later. That's because they feel your energy. They feel that something. I just heard that it person, like, you just walk by somebody, like, there's just something about them. Like, I can't put my finger on it, but there's something about them that's just fascinating, intriguing, interesting. I can't pinpoint one thing. It's a bunch of things. Like, it's a bunch of little things that just make this really good thing. And that's what it's like. People can't figure you out, Virgo, and it keeps them coming back for more. And the more they see you or feel you or hear you, the more they enjoy your presence and your aura and your energy. And it's just like, what else you got? You know, what else you got? And then all of a sudden you become their object of attention, their object that they want to shower affection on, the object they want to use when they're feeling bad. So it's important that you start setting these boundaries now in a really small area so that you are successful at it when you start having more energies coming towards you. So this is a good time for you to start doing it in your home sector, making sure that you're not explaining yourself to death, communicating effectively. There's a difference in saying something over and over and not getting a good result. If you're saying something in a way that isn't working and you keep having, I'm getting a pain in my neck. Literally, okay. They gave me the exact issue. Like, you are a pain in the neck to other people because you are just, the way you explain things can be kind of condescending to them. Or like, oh, they're on a rant again, and then they stop. So your style, your communication style isn't working well anymore. So it's time to change how you speak to people so that you can communicate effectively. It's not just about what you're saying, it's how you're saying it that will help things go the distance. So, if I'm going to use children as an example because I have children. If you're saying something to children and they're not wanting to do it, change how you're saying it, change your approach, and be so that they're more receptive to it. Okay? If you're used to being the authoritarian parents, so to speak, try something where you're, more playful. Something about sweeping and mopping the kitchen floor with everybody taping washcloths to their feet and having music on and dancing and having that moment, something like that. Kind of like that Cancerian energy. Do something fun like that. They want you to do that. That was a lot of channeling. I feel like I need to take a drink. Excuse me. I just heard boats and hoes. That's a song from that movie, oh my God, Step Brothers. I was going to say Son-in-Law. From Step Brothers. Something about watching some old classics that give you that nostalgic feeling, that make you laugh and think, remind you of good times. They want you to do that right now. Instead of trying all these new things out that you're like, it works, but it doesn't really jive with what I'm aligning with right now. I'm trying to be happy. I'm putting the pause button on this crap that I've been doing, That's what they want you to do. They want you to also watch only things like that as well. Even if things come to you that are for yous, the reason they're coming to you as for yous now, it's because you keep watching them. And if you keep getting a for you for something and it's the same thing over and over, telling you really the same things over and over, they want you to know you've ascended out of that. Stop watching those. All right, it's time for the next level. You are in the next level. This is the feeling game now. This is about you feeling your decisions and your choices instead of looking for signs all the time, so that your brain can relax and so that you can start gaining money. Something about this helps you gain money. Temptation will test you. Success assured with good plans and hard work. This is the feeling game. Spiritual guidance and protection from harm, opportunity, or windfall. Use your intuition and beneficial changes to make beneficial changes. I just said that. Everything I just said in this reading came out in one freaking sentence. You get that? I love when they do that. Do you want tarot? Tarot, whatever you want to say. I don't know. I'm hearing She's got the music, it makes me dance. You got the music, here's my chance. Feels like an old skating jam or something. I went to the disco, looked him in my eyes. He asked him a question, and to my surprise, He asked myself, could this really be? When I hear music, it makes me dance. You've got the music, here's your chance. Yeah, okay, there's something about you receiving a chance, the opportunity here. So I said something about like an old skating jam, like a techno thing, and now they're telling me like that's about to happen, and you are about to learn to like skate through life, kind of like you're just bipping and bopping along to that kind of music. That's what it's about to feel like. You're just gonna feel like you're just smooth sailing from here on out after you receive this. But it takes you understanding how to use your intuition. Oh my, I just split to the freaking, look, they said split instead of signs, because you're receiving signs that match your thoughts and your feelings about certain people and certain things, and it's actually keeping you blocked. So no more signs right now. No more signs right now. Just your intuition. That's the game this week. You have to practice using your feelings to tell you to make a decision, and they want you to see what comes as a result of you using your feelings to make a decision. All right? Make decisions from a good feeling place. If it doesn't feel good, why doesn't this feel good? What is it teaching me? What can I do to feel better? And then do it. I mean, it's literally about your choices this week, because they want to walk you into a new relationship. Here, that's the opportunity and the windfall that you're going to receive, and it comes from you playing the emotion game. I don't even need cards. I just showed you the cards. I'm using my intuition. All right. I love you so much, Virgos. See you in the next one. Peace and love.